Should the New York Jets bring back Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback? Yay or nay?
I dare one of y'all to disagree with me. No. No. Like, it's plain and simple to me that, like, you balance what Aaron Rodgers brings on the field with what he brings off the field, and it seems like his talent on the field is as good as it was towards the end of the season. It doesn't make up for the fact that it feels like the team kind of fell apart under his watch. Mm-hmm. Coaches have to go. Players are threatening that they won't come back. Like, it feels like a bad situation. It doesn't seem to me that he is producing enough.
That is the Rodgers jersey that has hung proudly in this studio from the moment that we signed him. I don't know what we'll have to do. We'll have to have a ceremony if it is announced that he is no longer going to be the Jet quarterback. What do you think is the answer to this question, Hawk?
I think they bring a Jet quarterback back, and I think it's Sam Darnold.
Really?
I would rather Sam Darnold be there than Aaron Rodgers in that position.
May I just say something?
Please, the floor is yours, Greeny.
If I'm Sam Darnold,
I want no parts of this play.
That's the last thing on earth I would even consider doing. The Jets tanked twice in his 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Two totally separate ones. They did everything they could to ruin that kid's career.
Hawk for once is making sense, though.
That's crazy. That's a crazy way.
Because I agree. And I did not agree.
Which part do you agree with?
About
I'm
Sam
trying to figure it
Darnold.
out myself.
I agree they should want that.
Football-wise, Sam Darnold actually makes more sense than Aaron Rodgers. Because if you are Aaron Glenn, you're talking about, we're in full evaluation mode, we're trying to rebuild the culture. I think it is very difficult to restart something with an Aaron Rodgers, an older quarterback who does not want to learn a new offense. Like, Aaron is not going to come in here saying, how can I be of service to whatever it is that the plan vision you have? It's about him.
Tyrod Taylor's on the roster, correct?
Yes, and the kid from Florida State.
Yeah, is it Travis?
Travis.
Yeah. So if I'm Aaron Glenn, I don't think I make a big splash to go for Sam Darnold for the reasons you're making. You're bringing him back to a situation that treated him horribly. So I don't think he's going to get there. I think you run with Tyrod Taylor and then figure out what you're going to do. The most important thing for Aaron Glenn this first season is building his culture for his team. I don't care if you win 3 games. I don't care if you win 4. I don't care about it. Build your culture. Like, build into your locker room and develop your talent and allow everybody to fall.
Here's the one problem with that, if I may, just as one who follows that team as closely as I do.
It's not going to be okay.
They're supposed to be right in their win-now window. Like, that's the reason they got Rodgers, because they have all these young guys whose rookie contracts are going to expire. Like, you're trying to win right now.
Guess what?
You ain't going to do it.
You ain't going to do it.
Wow.
So build for the future. Let me tell you something. If in 3 years you have a perennial, if you have Detroit in 3 years, will you be happy that you sacrificed year one? Because that's what you're trying to do.
But I don't think you have to do either. I think Jeff's point is what we've seen from them now is a lot of like Band-Aids to try to keep this ship afloat.
Right.
It's like, look, we're going to do this the right way.
With our guys.
And we're not going to try to like Band-Aid it with a player here or there. We're going to do this the right way. If it happens to be successful, then that's fine. If it's not, then we're building towards some success. I get why that's a bit of a turnoff, but the last several seasons, they've been like, hey, we're going to fix it with this guy, and it hasn't worked.
And I think you guys are all right. And you can be in a win-now mode and still build a culture. What you can't build a culture doing is if your quarterback decides he doesn't want to come to OTAs and minicamp.
No, I'm
right? Like, you can't establish a culture even if you're in a win-now mode. And so you have to have a quarterback who is tapped into that, a willing participant
he doesn't
to build
even know
it out.
if he wants to play.
Well, I mean, maybe this season has humbled him to some point where he's going to be a different version of himself. I'm not saying
that would be what Aaron Glenn would want, but that's what he's going to have to decide.
I have a very tough time seeing Rodgers retiring on his own right now. Like, I think if someone wants him to come play,
he'll go to a team.
I base that on no inside information. It's not like I'm talking to him or anything like that. But if you watched Enigma, it is impossible to picture that man deciding to walk out on this note.
I think you and I are the only 2 people who watched it.
I'm going to.
Oh, I recommend it highly. Episode 2, the ayahuasca. Fascinating.
Highly? Ayahuasca?
I mean, that's literally.
He does recommend it highly.
Yes.
Somebody was following.
I recommend it in enormous psychedelic confusion. As we continue, if I said Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jets next year, Hawk, is that fact or fiction?
I would say fiction. I don't think Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Glenn are going to vibe, not because they're personalities, but Aaron Glenn's trying to come establish a culture. He's trying to, make sure that whatever strategy he builds around this organization starts with him. And Aaron Rodgers, who has been in the league a very long time, and we saw it with Salah, and we saw it with the 2 years that he's been a part of the Jets organization, he's going to have his own idea of the way things should go. And that's going to be an instant clash, especially for a first-time head coach.
I completely agree with that. So let me we're going to have to do something about the jersey at some point. We'll have a ceremony, which hangs proudly still, or maybe not as proudly as it once did, in the corner of the studio. So where does he go? I do not believe Rodgers retires if he has an option to play.
There will be landing spots, right? Whether it's New Orleans, like you said, if they let go of both of them, the Steelers potential.
We're talking about. I think New Orleans is Oakland, Vegas is an option. I think that somebody.
Rodgers and Brady and Pete together.
Yes.
After the draft, and no one has these quarterbacks get a lot more attractive after the draft.
Agreed.
You weren't able to get the guy that you wanted. Once free agency starts winding down, and people are looking around like, hey.
And the Pete Carroll, just saying this out loud, Pete Carroll has run a bunch of teams, man. College, pro. Like this guy, he can work around attitudes, he can work around egos because his culture is going to permeate. He's done it everywhere. Doesn't matter who the quarterbacks are, he's been successful.
I want to just, in reference to what you just said, Dominique, and I know you know this, free agency comes before the draft.
Right.
So this decision is likely going to get made before the draft, right?
It doesn't have to.
Right. He's saying
free agency starts before the draft.
Right.
A lot of teams, I think, will wait until after the draft to see if they can get a quarterback, and then that it doesn't end.
And then what, trade for Aaron Rodgers? Are the Jets going to release him?
Oh, yeah. I guess
a lot of things, my point is a lot of things have to happen.
We need to plan it around.
We need to get that on the NFL calendar.
And listen,
so we know
it started
exactly.
in week 13.
Week 13.
It's still under contract.
It's longer than usual.
It's a long one. It's a long one.
Look in the crystal ball. The Kmart crystal ball.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers is wearing what jersey next season?
Not a Jets jersey.
I agree with that. So where is he going to be? Because I do not think he's going to retire. I believe he will only retire, and he will have the plausible deniability of saying, well, I just don't want to play anymore. But I think that will only happen in the event that he comes to the realization that nobody wants him, which I don't think will be the case. So I think he will play next year is what I'm trying to say. Where will it be? Give me a jersey.
To me, I think a dome team. I think he's gonna want to me
that's New Orleans.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Could that make sense? Like Raiders, because he's older.
Yeah.
I know the Steelers don't make sense. But I feel like the Steelers always find a way to just kind of do the bare minimum when it comes to the quarterbacks and the offense. And I feel like Aaron is that sort of bridge that they think they can win now with.
This would be the conundrum for the Steelers. Do you think you're a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl? Because if that's it, then you say, okay, we can deal with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're a quarterback away. So Dome figuring it out. Pittsburgh is further away than you think, unless they arm on this offense.
Your old team plays in a dome.
They sure do.
They still got a project going.
They have a project.
Maybe they bring in a veteran who
they're going to do something. Let me just say it this way:
they love a Band-Aid.
It's W or people packing it up. So there ain't no other way.
Very winnable division.
Are you serious? It's a joke.
Yeah.
2 teams won less than 5 games.
Maybe that one would make sense. Meanwhile, as we continue.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.